Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We got game 2 here of the Tigers of the Browns. I know the Tigers technically are 3.5 games out of first place, and normally I wouldn't play this game as Evers takes the ball, but there's a swing and a miss and a strike. I'm not going to just show you one half of a doubleheader. We're going to watch both. 2-1 the count on Evers. There's another ball. It's 3-1, and he gets a base hit over to right field, and that'll bring up Paul Campbell here against Carl Drews. I'm not going to win any awards for pitching selection in this game. The Tigers are starting Grissom, who really probably shouldn't be the starting pitcher. There's a little ground ball over to Pellegrini. He makes the play himself at second and throws over to Graham at first for the double play. And here is George Kell. Kell only hitting 192, it says there, against right-handed pitching. He has a 1-1 count on him. Hits 256 so far this season. There's a ball high, 2-1 the count on Kell. Ground ball over there to... who was this ground ball to? So there's a ground ball down the first base line. It was Drews who runs over and tries to grab that one. He dives for it, and he misses the ball. And Kell, the batter, almost collides with the pitcher who misses the ball. And the question there is, where was Graham, the first baseman? And that is a really rare one. I don't think I've seen that play before. So in this play, what happens, and let's see if I can figure out the right way to put this, right place to put this, rather. With this play, it looks to me sort of like a rare play rather than just a poor play, in that they came very, very close to having the pitcher run into the batter. Runner now on first base is Kell, who gets the base hit. That's very generous. Groth takes 2 straight balls, 2-0 the count now on Johnny. And there's a line shot that's just fouled on the left field line. It's 2-1 now the count. There's a ground ball to Pellegrini. Flips that one over to Pretty for the out at second. Here is Marv Grissom to start the game for the Tigers here, bottom of the first inning. And Pretty takes the ball and then hits the ball straight back over to Marv, and he throws over to first for the out, one away. Les Moss now takes the ball. There's another ball high, 2-0 now the count, and that one's wide of the plate, ball 3 on Moss. He hits a ground ball down to Lipon at short, makes the play and throws to first for the out. Here is Dick Kokos, and he hits one deep to the right side, and that one just stays up in the air for a long time and is out of there for a home run. Home run for Kokos, 1-0 for the Browns. Bob Dillinger takes a strike, then a ball, and now another ball. 2-1 the count on Dillinger. Swings and misses that one. 2-2 is now the count. There's a little ground ball over to Kell, third, makes the play and throws to first for the out. So the home run puts the Browns up 1-0, but that's it. Vic Wirtz takes the ball on a strike, 1-1 now, top of the second inning. There's one high, 2-1 the count on Wirtz. There's a little ground ball over to Dillinger. He avoids the broken bat, makes the play and throws to first for the out. Now it's Bob Swift who takes the strike. Another strike, 0-2 the count. You can tell, by the way, Dynamite Baseball was created in the mid-'90s because of those broken bats and how often they come up. Graham gets the ground ball here, and he flips over to Drews for the out, 2 away, and here's Neil Berry. There's a ball there to Berry, 1-0 the count. That's off the plate. Another ball, 2-0, and there's a strike. 2-1 now the count on Neil Berry, and he hits a ground ball over to third. Dillinger has and throws to first for the out. Bottom of the second, here is Jack Graham, who takes the ball. There is a ball outside, 2-0 the count on him. A little ground ball over to second base. Berry has it, throws to first for the out, 1 away. Whitey Platt now fouls one off the catcher. It's 0-1 and swings and misses to that one. 0-2 now the count. And he looks at a ball, 1-2 the count, and that's fouled up and out of play. Still 1-2, and there's a swing and a miss, and Platt strikes out, 2 away, and it's Roy Sievers. Sievers takes the ball up and in. There's another one inside, 2-0 the count, and that fastball missed, 3-0 now the count. There's a ground ball down to third, and it's a very, very good play, third, I say, but that was actually played over by the pitcher. Throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the third. It's going to be Johnny Lipon, and it was Grissom who made that play. Lipon gets a quick base hit, and here comes Marv Grissom. I think this is his first at-bat of the season, and it's not an at-bat. He just bunts over to Drews, who throws over to Pretty, covering over at first. Potential tying runs up at second, and here is Hoot Evers. Evers takes a strike in the inside corner, 0-1 the count. That's ripped towards right center field, and that's going to be a double. No, it's a single, and he's thrown out at second base, but he does score Lipon with the tying run. And, wow, that was a pretty nice play, by the way, by, who was that here? It was Kokos who made the play, throw down to Pellegrini for the out at second, in the top of the third. Next batter up hits a ground ball over to Pretty. He has the ball and throws over to first for the out. 1 pitch and 1 out, and we're out of that inning. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-1 ball game. Pellegrini takes the ball and then fouls one off for a strike, 1-1 the count. That's off the outside corner. It's 2-1 now, Nettie. And that one just missed the zone, 3-1 now, and there's a little dumped base hit in the center field, and Pellegrini will be on at first. That brings up Carl Drews, and he's going to bunt. He'll follow Grissom in his behavior. Bunts once, misses the second one, 0-2 now the count. Might as well let him take this third strike, and that's a strikeout there for Grissom. Second strikeout for Marv in this game. Here comes Jerry Pretty, and he takes the ball 1-0 now the count on Pretty. 2-0 as that one just missed. And that's just fouled back. 2-1 is now the count. And there's a breaking ball in there for a strike. It's a 2-2 count. And that's a fastball on the inside corner for strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Marv Grissom, pitching pretty well. And up next, Les Moss hits a little comebacker to Grissom that's just off of his glove, and that's going to be an infield hit, and probably the cheapest of the infield hits. Runners are on at first and second now for Dick Kokos, who homered last time up. That was his 8th of the season. He takes a strike, 0-1 the count, and that's a ball inside, 1-1 the count. That's fouled off to the right. 1-2 is the count on Kokos, fouled away again, still 1-2. That one goes through Swift, and he couldn't quite stop that one. Grissom with kind of an adventurous pitch. That can be a pass ball. That is a pass ball, and the runners move up to second and third. Coco's still up there. Fouls another one back. Count remains 2-2, and he blasts that one down the left field line, and it's just not deep enough. Evers has that for the out. We go to the top of the fourth. George Kell up there fouls one back. 0-1 the count. There's a pitch outside. It's 1-1 on Kell. There's ball 2 to him. 2-1 count now on Kell, and there's a ground ball down to Dillinger, third base. He makes the play and throws to first for the out. One away. Johnny Groth takes the ball. And there's another ball. 2-0 now the count on Groth. And that is a strike in the outside corner. 2-1 is the count on Johnny Groth, and that's fouled away. It's 2-2. That one missed inside. Full count now on Johnny. And he swings and misses at that one. That's the first strikeout for Carl Drews. One away here, top of the fourth. 1-1 ball game. Vic Wirtz takes a ball. Another ball. 2-0 the count now on Worth. And he swings and misses at one. It's 2-1. And 3-1 is that backdoor slider missed. And that's way too far inside, and that's a walk. And that'll bring up Bob Swift. Swift hits one over to the right side, and it's going to be Graham who has that one. And it looks like he flips that over. Was that over to the pitcher, actually? Drews covering it first for the out. We go to the bottom of the fourth. And that's a ball inside, and a little ground ball over to Lipon at short, and he throws over to first base, and his throw goes past Campbell and goes all the way over to the railing. Dillinger able to reach second, and so a little gift for the Browns, and that brings up Jack Graham, who takes a ball, and then a strike, 1-1 the count. He drives one down to right field, just foul. 1-2 now the count on Graham. That's a fastball off the plate. It's 2-2, and that one's popped up and ends up landing harmlessly foul. 2-2, the count still. A little ground ball down to Lipon, looks the runner back to second, throws over to first for the out, one away, and here's Whitey Platt. Platt swings and misses at 0-1 the count, and that's a screwball in the outside corner. It's 0-2. Screwball's inside, 1-2 now the count, and that pitch just missed. 2-2 now. That's popped up. Kell has that one for the second out. Here's Roy Sievers. And Sievers is going to be put on intentionally. Interesting decision, but we'll go along with it. Pellegrini now 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Didn't Pellegrini have a hit to win the game the other day? And he hits a little pop-up over to Barry, the second baseman. So much for that. And we go to the top of the fifth. Neil Barry, first man up, dumps a base hit into center field off of Carl Drews, hit number 5 for the Tigers. Runner on at first base now for Lipon, who takes a ball. And then bunts it to Drews, who makes the play over to Graham at first. Barry moves up to second. It's Marv Grissom. Grissom swinging away here, fouls one off, and then hits a ground ball over to Pretty. He hit it to the right side like you're supposed to. Barry moves to third. 2 outs, and here's Hoot Evers. And there's a ball to Evers, 1-0 the count. And that's hit down to the gap in left field, and that's going to be a double for Evers again. And that scores the run. It's 2-1 Tigers, and that'll bring up Paul Campbell. And that's a strike in the outside corner to Campbell. There's a little pop-up out of play. 0-2 the count now on Paul, and there's a ball to him. 1-2 now the count. That's away. 2-2 is now the count, and that's hitting the right center field for a base hit, and that will score Evers easily. It's a 3-1 ball game, and here comes George Kell. I had a feeling this would happen, and Kell takes a strike and then fouls one up and back, and Moss has that one for the out. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's going to be Carl Drews up here hitting, and he will hit for himself. It's still a little bit early in this game. Drews takes a strike and then swings and misses that fastball. 0-2 the count. And boy, Grissom goes right after Drews, and he doesn't know what to do with that one. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Grissom. I'm not sure if he ever had a game in real life like this one. And he throws a strike at Jerry Pretty, and another one, 0-2 the count on Pretty. And Grissom gets him looking with the screwball. 5th strikeout of this game. Here's Les Moss. And he swings and misses a 1 for a strike. 0-1 the count. That's outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Inside fastball gets away. It's 2-1 now on Moss. 3-1 is that one missed. And that fastball's in there for a strike. It's a full count, and that one's down and in. There's the walk. That's what I was more expecting from Grissom. And Dick Kokos now takes the ball inside, 1-0 the count. That's a little high. 2-0 now the count. And that's fouled back 2-1. Grissom kind of throwing beyond himself here. There's ball 3. There's one hit down the right field line, and boy, Dick Kokos with his second home run of the game, and that makes us a tie ball game, and that knocks Grissom out of the box, and it's 3-3. How about that? Man, oh man, I thought for certain that Grissom was going to get out of this one, and Kokos just makes him pay. Second home run down the right field line, or on the right side, I should say, rather. And he's responsible for all 3 runs today. Man, oh man, what a performance. And that'll bring up Dizzy Trout again. Trout pitched in the morning game, and this is a ground ball over to Kell. He makes the play and throws to first for the out, top of the 6th. And it's Johnny Groth up there who takes the ball. 1-0 the count, and that's way outside. 2-0 now the count. That's fouled away. 2-1 now the count on Groth. 2-2 as that's called for a strike. There's one foul back. Remains 2-2, and that's up and in. Full count now on Johnny. And he swings and misses that one, and Drews gets his second strikeout of the game, and that'll bring up Vic Wertz. A little ground ball down to Dillinger at third. He takes his time, throws to first for the out. 2 away, and Swift ends up with a base hit through the left side, through the hole in the infield, and that'll bring up Neil Berry. The strike on Berry, and then a ball. 1-1 the count now, and that's fouled away. 1-2 now the count on Berry. And that's high and inside, and it's a 2-2 count as they straighten him up. And this little foul tip that Moss can't hold on to. It's another foul ball. Still 2-2 the count. There's a fly ball over to right field. Coco says that one for the out. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Jack Graham. Let's see if the Brownies can win this one. Graham takes a strike, hits that one off the mound over to Lipon at second base, or shortstop rather, makes the play over to first for the first out. Whitey Platt now. Bottom of the 6th, 3-3 ball game. Platt hits one down to right center field, and that's over. Groth is cutting that off, and Platt runs all the way over past first base and tries to stretch it and does so successfully. Ends up at second base, and that'll bring up Royce Sievers now, runner on at second with 1 out. Sievers walked intentionally last time, takes a ball, and a strike. 1-1 the count now, and looks at another strike. 1-2 the count. That was inside for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Off the outside edge, full count now, and he swings and misses a one in the dirt, and that's going to be the first strikeout here for Dizzy. 2 outs now, and here's Eddie Pellegrini. I hate to say this, but I don't think that he's going to do much. And what do? They intentionally walk him. How about that? They'll bring up Carl Drews, who hasn't even been close to hit at all this season, hasn't been on base, doesn't know what it's like. 0-2 the count on Drews, and he swings and misses at that one. That's the second strikeout for Dizzy Trout. I'm not sure that Drews knows what to do with himself should he get on base. And Lipon here takes the ball top of the 3rd, hits a ground ball over to Dillinger at third base, and he throws to first for the out, top of the 3rd, top of the 7th. Here's Dizzy Trout now, takes the ball and then hits one through the right side for a single. Boy, Trout is going to stay in there for a while, I guess. I'm surprised that he's not tired. Hoot Evers takes the ball, and there's another ball low and outside. 2-0 the count. That's a pitch inside that misses. It's a 3-0 count on him, and there's a strike in there. 3-1 now. That's lined over to left field, and that will fall in front of Platt, and that puts Trout up at second base. And suddenly the Tigers really have something going on. So Trout managed to reach and is followed up by a base hit there from Evers, and we're going to see. We're going to see where all of this goes here for the Tigers. Only 1 out, and that'll bring up Paul Campbell, who's 1 for 3 today. Evers, by the way, is 4 for 4, having a great game. 1-1 now the count on Campbell as he fouls one back, and that's fouled away again. It's 1-2, and he hits one deep to left field, and that's just not quite deep enough, and Platt's able to make the catch, and Trout moves over to third. 2 away, and here's George Kell. So, Kell, I tell you, if you're really the sort of hitter you were in 49, you better do it now. 1-0 the count on Kell, and there's a strike. It's 1-1 on him. And there's one inside the misses. 2-1 the count now on George. And that's ball 3 off the plate. 3-1 now the count. And there's strike 2. Full count now on Kell. And he holds up just barely in time for that one and walks and takes a stroll down the first base. And that loads the bases here. Drews may be falling apart. Here's Johnny Croth, and he is hit by the pitch. And that will make this a 4-3 ball game. Of all things to happen in this situation, the last thing I would expect is for Drews to hit the batter with the pitch. So Groth is hit by the pitch, and that brings up none other than Vic Wertz with a bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 7th. And there's a strike in there to him. It's an 0-1 count. 1-1 now. Wertz hitting .351 and a scary .351 with a .430 slugging percentage. It's hit over to left field, and Platt has it for the out. Thank goodness. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and that'll bring up Jerry Pretty. Detroit up by 1, and there's a strike in there to Pretty. 0-1 the count. Ground ball down to Lipon at short, makes the play and throws to first for the out. 1 away. Here's Les Moss, who swings and misses a 1. Takes the ball. 1-1 the count now on Moss. That's bounced over down to Kell at third base. He throws to first for the out. 2 away. And here's Kokos already with 2 home runs today. 1-1 the count on him now. There's a ball to him. It's 2-1. It's inside, ball 3, 3-1 the count. There's a line shot straight at Barry, the second baseman, who has it for the out. We go to the top of the 8th, and that'll bring up Bob Swift. There's a ball in there to Swift, 1-0 the count now. And there's ball 2. Drews might be falling apart. He fouls one back. It's 2-1. Swing and a miss on that one. 2-2 is the count. And that's a pitch that's just outside, full count now. And that's a late swing by Swift in strike 3. And that'll be the third strikeout for Drews. That'll bring up Neil Barry. He takes the ball and fouls one back. Barry, of course, with a good play bottom of the 7th. This is the top of the 8th now. 1-2 the count. And 2-2 as that one misses. And that's just high. Full count now in Neil. And he walks and that check swing, and Drews is still having some problems. That'll bring up Johnny Lipon, and he takes a strike. So I think we're going to have Drews maybe get through the bottom of the batting order. Let's see what happens. And there's 1-2 now the count on Lipon, and that's just away. 2-2 is now the count. There's one inside for ball 3, and it's a full count. And there's ball 4, and Drews has walked the he's committed an act he shouldn't have. He has walked the guy he probably shouldn't have walked. And let's see who we can put in here. Ferrick maybe, or Savage. I think we're going to put in Savage. It would be the civilized thing to do. So we put in Bob Savage here to pitch with runners on at first and second. Aaron Robinson comes up, and there is a ball up high to Robinson. 1-0 the count. And that one just misses. It's ball 2. 2-0 now the count on Robinson. As lined right to the right of second base, and Pretty grabs that one, and he ends up beating the runner back to the bag. That might be a big play. That might be a really big play, because we were able to prevent them from scoring. It's still just a one-run ball game. And so, hey, maybe this will work. You never know. There's still a chance. And that will bring up the Browns in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here is Dillinger facing Stubby Obermeyer. He hits one over to left center field. Evers has it for the out, one away. Here's Jack Graham, who takes a strike. It's an 0-1 count on Graham. There's a little ground ball down to Kell on the left side. He makes the play and throws to first for the out, 2 away. Here's Whitey Platt, who fouls one back, 0-1 the count. And there's a high fastball for a ball, 1-1 the count. It's on the inside corner. It's 1-2, and that breaking ball misses inside 2-2, and that one is low. Full count now on Platt, and it's way outside, and so Platt ends up walking, and that'll bring up Roy Severs. Severs comes up there and takes the ball, 1-0 the count, and there's one grounded through the left side, and that'll be a base hit. We're not going to test Evers' arm. Platt will hold at second base. And now the Browns really have something potentially going on with runners on at first and second here in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs. And that brings up none other than Pellegrini. I know Pellegrini is not exactly heralded, but we're going to let him swing for himself. He fouls one back, 0-1 the count. That's off the plate, 1-1 now the count on Pellegrini. And that's looped into the right field for a base hit. We're going to send the runner and test Vic Wirtz's arm, and let's see what happens, see if Platt can score. And he is safe, and Severs takes third base, and that's a really, really big play. And I told you, what did I tell you about Pellegrini, right? Don't ever underestimate the shortstop. And this one ended up working out, I think, very, very well for Pellegrini, and not so well for the Tigers, who had at one point in time at least thoughts about maybe competing in this pennant race. But if you're not going to be able to beat the Browns even once in this doubleheader, I don't know what kind of thoughts you have about doing much of anything. This isn't a great Browns team. Other than, of course, Eddie Pellegrini, who clearly is one of the great offensive stars of all time. That'll bring up pinch hitter here. I think it's going to be Stan Spence we're going to put in for the pinch hitter for the Browns, and he will face against Lou Kretlow. The computer is waiting for me to make the change to see what arm player they want to put in. They put in the righty to face the lefty. There's a ball in there to Spence. And really should have put in a left-handed pitcher or whatever. 2-1 the count now on Stan. 3-1 as he takes the ball. Fouled away. Full count now on him. And there's ball 4, high and outside, and that loads the bases. And that was a very, very dangerous walk to commit. Now, I know that Jerry Pretty has not had a hit in this game. I don't think he played that well in the last game that they played. I can't remember. But we'll see how Pretty does here, because this is the time that separates the men from the boys. There's a ball there to Pretty, 1-0 the count. And swings and misses a 1-1 now the count on Jerry. That's outside, 2-1. That's foul straight back, 2-2 now the count on Jerry Pretty, and that's off the plate. Full count on him now, and this is a handy time for the game to have a little bit of a blip and freeze on me. And there we go. Now we've come back, and let's see what we can do here. Long drive to right center field, and Groth is there, and he's got that one for the out, and we're going to have to put in another relief pitcher. Let's see here. Thinking Embry or Kennedy. I think we're going to go probably with Embry. And Kennedy, I think, probably is going to be the pitcher starting the next game for the Browns if they have a game on the Monday. Remember, this is the Sunday game that we're playing. I don't think I mentioned that at all, but just so you know, this is the Sunday game that we're playing. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And let's see what we can do. Tie ball game 4-4, top of the ninth inning is Hoot Evers, and here comes Red Embry. 2-1 record. He started 4 games. I've been starting him probably more than he did in real life. Evers takes the ball and then fouls one back, 1-1 the count. He pops one up over to the shortstop, Pellegrini, who has it for the first out. Here's Paul Campbell. First time the Evers has been put out today. He's 4 for 5. Paul Campbell with a 1-1 count on him. And he lines one over to right field, and Kokos races in and puts that one away, 2 away. And here's George Kell, and that's lined over Pellegrini's glove for a base hit. That'll bring up Johnny Groth here in the top of the ninth inning, and he looks at a curveball high, 1-0 the count. And there's a sinker in that he's 1-1. Fastball is high, 2-1 the count now on Groth. The breaking ball in there for a strike, it's 2-2, and there's a little nubber foul, 2-2 still. Breaking ball just low, full count now on Groth, and that's a curveball down the dirt, and that'll put runners on at first and second. And this is always a problem. This is not exactly what you want to see happen with your relief pitcher, to have somebody come in there, give up a little bloop of a base hit, and then instead of trying to get the guys out, tries to be a little bit too fancy and ends up walking a bunch of guys. So runners now on first and second with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Vic Wirtz, and that kind of sends shivers up and down your spine. There's a ball to Wirtz, and then he hits a ground ball over Pellegrini, makes the play and flips over to Pratt for the out. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's going to be Les Moss. Moss takes a ball inside and then swings and misses a 1-1 the count now on him. He hits one deep to left field, and that one's just foul. Boy, Les Moss just about sending us home. But he does get the base hit over the left field, and that's a clean hit. And so with nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth inning, it's going to be the catcher, Moss, getting the hit and over on first base. You were wondering probably why I have Moss hitting second. Well, it's for situations like this. Very good on-base percentage so far and very good slugging percentage, and that brings up Dick Kokos. Kokos has 2 home runs already today, 2 for 4. Takes the ball low, 1-0 the count, and that's a little ground ball back to the box, and Kretlow's looking back, finally finds Lipon and has the force out. It allows Kokos, however, to reach first. That might be a little bit of a boon there for the Browns because Kokos is much faster. So let's see what we can do. Dillinger, though, hasn't had any sort of hit so far today. He's 0 for 4. We'll try the hit and run once, see what happens. And swung on a miss, and boy, Kokos is just able to get in there around the tag. This is the thing that I was worried about, which is that I'm going to call for a hit and run. Dillinger is going to miss it, and Kokos is going to run into an out. Instead, he ends up being safe at second. And so that ends up being a pretty good decision. Kokos, by the way, in terms of stolen bases, had 3 in real life against 5 times caught stealing, so we were kind of lucky there. Here's Dillinger now with the 0-1 count. 0-2 as he swings and misses a 1. That one's just high. 1-2 the count. And that one's high, hard, and off the plate. 2-2 the count. It's fouled away. It's still 2-2. And there's a fastball inside. Full count now on Dillinger. And that swung on and fouled, just barely fouled back. Still full count. And that's fouled back again. Full count on Dillinger remains. And boy, that hit the bat. I hate that play-by-play, by the way. There's a breaking ball wide, and that puts runners on at first and second, and that's going to complicate things immensely. That will really, really complicate things here for the Tigers. And so next up is Jack Graham. Jack Graham, who hasn't really done much today. And there's only 1 out. Now the question is, do you swing away with him or do you bunt and leave it up to Platt? Platt has been playing better so far in the replay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bunt. They're not looking for the bunt. And there's one bunted straight out in front to Stewart. He throws over to Barry, covering a first for the out, and it's there just in time. And so that means that we have runners on second and third with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth inning. And that may end up being an important play. Let's see what happens. So Graham ends up sacrificing his turn at bat. That brings up Whitey Platt, who's 1 for 3, hitting just over 300. He takes the ball and then fouls one back. 1-1 the count now on Platt. It's off the outside edge. It's a 2-1 count on him. That's way outside ball 3. We'll have him take this pitch, and he takes ball 4, and Stewart loses him, and that'll bring up Roy Sievers. So Sievers comes up now with the bases loaded. Sievers is also 1 for 3 today. And, the bottom part of this Browns lineup, at least in this game, hasn't been hitting too poorly. And so let's see what we can do. Seavers now, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. And that's a knuckler, bounces in there for a ball, and that one's off the plate, 2-0 the count. He swings and misses a 1. It's a 2-1 count now on Roy, and there's ball 3 just outside. Let's have him take this one. 3-1 pitch comes in, and there's a strike 2 down the heart of the plate. 3-2, and there's one foul back. Full count still. As downstairs for ball 4, and that does it, and that is your ball game. And so Stewart ends up walking in the run. And as I said before, the Tigers, if they really want to do something this season, are going to have to beat teams like the Browns, and they certainly didn't do it there. So there's your final score: St. Louis 5 and Detroit 4. And it's all decided on a base on balls at the end. How appropriate, how fitting that is for 1949. Second walk given up by Marlon Stewart this game. 13th given up this season against 3 strikeouts. We've seen a lot of pitchers throwing like that so far. There you go. That was an exciting one. And the Tigers now 4 games behind the Yankees. And remember, we still have that Yankees Athletic series to play. That's also a doubleheader. That will be coming up in 2 days. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.